Welcome David Bowering, who is with us in the studio today, Studio 201 at the Imperial. He's here to discuss the future of the Churchill Theater, which he is the chair of the board of directors. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Dan. I'm really happy that you have invited me here and give me an opportunity to speak to your readership about what's happening with the theater during this period of shutdown and what it looks like for the 2020 season going forward.
So how long has the theater operated?
Well, the theater, as you know, is a historic building that was built in 1929. For the last 37 years, it's been a live theater, a community theater. Prior to that, for over 40 years, it was a cinema, a movie house. And then prior to that, only for about 6 years, it was a community center and the Churchill Town Hall.
Tell us how you feel the COVID-19 crisis threatens the Churchill Theater right now.
Well, obviously, our 2020 season has come to a halt. We did get in the first play. It was a very successful, Other Desert Cities, and we were fully prepared, ready to go, actually, with the Philadelphia story when this problem hit. Now, obviously, we have no revenue from the theater, from our productions. No revenue from box office, from concessions, from the fundraisers that we do over at the theater around the productions. So it's hurting.
Yeah. Were you able to get some SBA money to help you endure this period of time?
Well, yes, but first of all, let me say that over the last 2 or 3 years, we've managed to build up a fairly decent balance sheet. But our operating revenues come largely from the theater operations. 50% of our budget comes from the theater operations. So we still have all the ongoing activities that a theater engages in, fundraising, and several other major events that we are both planning and executing. So while we're okay for the short term, it's going to be a little painful very soon. We have applied for a relief grant, and our initial application has been accepted, but we haven't had any funds forthcoming yet, and we know that they ran out of funds very quickly, so we don't know when that will be reinitiated. And we also have applied to the Midshore Community Foundation for help there. So we're continuing to seek help to support our operations side of the theater from a number of sources.
The governor a couple of months ago closed all non-essential businesses. But with that, and that included the Churchill Theater, of course, but you're trying to continue with other types of programming. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, well, there's several things that were started and ongoing before the shutdown that really unrelated to the productions. For example, we've long been trying to have a new website, and we've been trying that for many years with volunteer work, and it simply hasn't worked out. So this year, we found the money to engage a local contractor to develop a website, and that website is now live, but it's still in the final testing phases, and our staff at the theater are taking it through those final testings, and we hope to have it fully operational when we open it up again. Also, the major thing that we're engaged in is the refurbishment and renovation of the interior of the theater. We've applied for and received a good, favorable response for a significant grant from the Maryland Heritage Area Administration, the Stories of the Chesapeake grants, they're often called, and we expect to hear on that in July. In the meantime, we have secured a grant for $25,000 to get started. And actually, at this moment, as we speak, we have a contractor from Rosebrand in the theatre examining and evaluating the wall coverings, which are silk and have been there forever, and making an estimate of what the cost is going to be and what needs to be done to renovate this theatre. For the wall coverings, the seating, all the draperies, that's our goal. And of course, this involves various members of the board, volunteers, committees of the board, and the executive manager and her assistant. So there is plenty going on that needs to be supported right now.
Do you anticipate maybe opening for shows this summer?
Well, we simply don't know. We do know that our summer program, the Green Room Gang, which is basically a theatre camp for young people and is a very, very important contributor to our revenues each year. That will not open. We have already made that decision that people are not prepared to be together in a public space yet. We are conducting a survey to see whether parents would like us to mount a virtual camp. But anyway, that source of revenue is missing. And most importantly, there's a great deal of uncertainty around when the ban will be lifted, when we will be able to open. We simply don't know. And even when we do open, we don't know how long it's going to be before our audience returns to be together with other people in a public space. And inside a theater, social distancing is not a practical solution. So what we do know is that with our current resources, we cannot last indefinitely without further support. And one of the reasons I'm speaking to your public right now is to ask our friends and family of the theater, those people who come to the theater and perhaps are frequent attendees but have never thought to become a member or to contribute to the annual giving, if at this time they might see their way to providing a gift to the theater to help us through these difficult times. It would be greatly appreciated. And those who do so generously contribute year after year, if you also were able to give an extra gift at this time so that when we reach that point where the theater is ready to open, the theater is there, it's functioning, it's ready to go, and that your theater will still be available for your enjoyment. Thank you all very much. In the meantime, I'd like to say to our patrons and friends to please stay safe and well, and we look forward to seeing you all at Churchill Theatre in the future, and thank you in advance for any help you can give us during this time.